All I need to know is that we'll roll with the punches.
Everyone watching, like and subscribe because this is kind of spooky.
We'll roll with the punches.
Well, it's been a little bit of time, huh? Got a lot to talk about.
I know, yeah.
Couple months since we last spoke into the camera like this.
I know. So elephant in the room. We're not in our RV.
No, as you can tell, we're in a sticks and bricks right now, hanging out while we're waiting for our rig to get fixed. So the joys of traveling full time is that sometimes you have to move out of your rig so that they can actually fix it, and so we get back on the road.
We're coming to you from the future. We're in Houston. Our rig's in the shop. Broken frame, kind of a big deal.
Yep.
So you'll get to see that in future episodes, kind of what happened.
So back it up. So we left off in Canyonlands
Yep.
National Park. We had just finished up our tour of Moab, and we're heading towards Capitol Reef
Yeah.
National Park,
Yep.
and where we're gonna boondock, or at least
Yeah.
try to boondock for 4 days.
We've gone legit camping, legit dry camping for a weekend, for a long weekend. We get it. That's no problem. But this was dry camping with our house.
We're living in it.
In
versus,
an area we had never been before.
Yeah.
And dry camping for the first time in this specific RV. You know, you don't know how long the fresh water is going to last, how long the gray tank's going to last, and all that. And the battery, because we don't have lithium or solar.
Like a lot of other families.
Yes. So we have a generator.
And we had a dump station nearby at Fruita Campground.
Yeah. So we're glad you're here. We're glad you're back.
Welcome.
We're glad to be back. It's been 4 months.
Has it been 4 months?
Yeah. Yep. 4 months since our last video. So we're
4 months since our last video, but we're on our travels. We're probably 9 months behind. Those of you who have watched our last 5 videos, you know,
just know our footage gets better.
it does
Just
get
know
better. We're gonna try to make the video as seamless as possible, but we're gonna be popping in here in the future to kind of give you updates.
It's a tangle web we weaved. Hopefully this is a brief hiatus here in Houston while we're getting the rig fixed, and that we can use this time wisely to get caught up on some videos.
In the meantime, let's hit the road on our way to Capitol Reef National Park.
Yeah.
Stopped in at Fruita Campground, really the only area to get water in your rig. Filled up, top it off, and then we only had to go another maybe 2 miles outside of the visitors area to kind of pull out into our camping spot. Swing into our boondocking spot that we found it on Campendium. It's big rig friendly, and that's what was key for us. We got there and pulling off the road. It's a little bit more of a dip off the road. We actually did lose a snap pad. We were going real slow, kind of pulling off, but we kind of skidded off a little bit and one of the snap pads popped off. If you go to that area, take your time coming in. Really kind of scope it out and then go slow. The trailer front here, back there, right? So I'm gonna back up. I'm gonna try to back to that black rock back there.
Gonna get the level out and
Now
see.
we're
Teen time before that camper.
So even with all of our apprehension about boondocking and all the preparation that we had to do, we absolutely loved it. It was a breath of fresh air to be out in all the red dirt with no amenities, because at the time this was pre-Starlink, so we didn't have internet.
very little spotty internet. There is internet there, and you do need some kind of antenna to pick it up.
Our SIM card with the data was reserved for my working, so the kids had to be unplugged, and they played like make-believe games, drive-through, Magna-Tiles, and I think we took naps, and the views were just spectacular and couldn't be beat.
Yeah, and remind you, this is 3 weeks into the travel, and we're feeling the effects of moving so fast.
Quite honestly, we didn't know a ton about Capitol Reef, and we have the book, which we've talked about in the other episodes about hiking with kids, and it's not as big as all the other national parks, so there weren't a ton of hikes that we felt FOMO to do, and
with kids. We chose one, which is Cohab Canyon, and that goes up to the North Overlook or South Overlook. You could choose which one you want to do. We were kind of getting ready for the hike. She went into the Giford House to kind of check and see if they had any pies available, because we kept hearing about these pies. You have to get the pies, and
well,
it was good.
What other national park has a special food they serve? I don't think anybody.
Yeah, not
Like-
that we've encountered since. Yeah, and luckily you had stopped, because right after you got in, there was a huge tour bus.
Huge tour bus, and it was so funny because I walked in and the workers were like, "Lock the doors, this is it." And I was like, "Lock the doors, okay." And then I saw everyone piling out of the bus. I was like, "Oh no." Well, I did it. I managed to get some pies before a big tour bus rolled in, so I imagine they'll sell out any minute. Cinnamon rolls were already sold out, so Daryl's gonna have to make a trip tomorrow morning to check those out. Fruita. You guys, I literally just left and they've closed both doors.
We encountered our first rattlesnake on the trip.
Looks like a baby though, probably around here somewhere.
Really cool morning, and thank God for that, because we ran into the rattlesnake, maybe 2 feet off the trail. Rattlesnakes in the morning, they're not moving very fast. They're just kind of laying there, completely stretched out, sunning itself. It didn't move.
So it starts with a little bit of a steep uphill climb. That only lasts for about a quarter of a mile, and then it levels out. We ran into our very first slot canyons,
which was awesome, because there we can kind of show the kids, what I used to do as a kid when I didn't have parents around, when that was just climb rocks, climb trees and everything else. And of course there's no trees around, so we just hit the rocks and showed them how to always kind of maintain 3 points of contact to do it safely. So that we're about, I'll say, half a mile in, and you drop down into the canyon, And then you kind of come around. This is the first slot canyon to the right. So we took a little detour to do some slot canyoneering and having some fun, learning some 3-point pressures and getting across some structures. And we're teaching the kids how to do dangerous things carefully.
Dangerous things carefully. Yep. That's such a place where kids learn.
That is the only place they learn. That's where everyone learns everything. When you're doing dangerous things carefully, man, that's where you learn.
What do you think?
Good.
What do you want to say?
Everyone watching, like and subscribe because this is kind of spooky. I'm not gonna be able to make it between that.
So we loved this hike, and you're rewarded with amazing views when you get to the North Overlook.
Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh.
I actually surprised everyone that I had packed up the pies that we bought.
What do you guys think?
It's like an apple donut. Wow. Pretty good, right? Whoa. Like it? Yeah, it's fun.
So tell me about them. What are you eating?
Peach pie. Apple pie. It's better.
Is it just like any pie from the grocery store?
Nope. Better.
You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, but I don't wanna jinx it, baby.
How were those pies?
Not good.
They were not your favorite. Did Dave and Devin like them though?
Yes.
Yes, they did. Mommy and Daddy like them?
Yes.
It warmed up by the end of the hike,
Yeah,
and we
it was
were
a
all
nice day.
ready to cool down. So we went over to the Fremont River that runs through the campground area.
The other thing we found when we went down to the river were all those caterpillars.
Yeah, and we didn't know what was going on. We actually heard them hitting the top of the truck. I heard them like fallen on the truck, and I didn't know at the time what it was.
Yeah. So we've looked it up since, and it's actually a tent moth. So all those caterpillars are turning into moths, and in the process, they completely defoliage the cottonwood trees. In their process of changing, you know, they have to eat so much, so they literally eat all of the leaves off the cottonwoods, and then they go and they build their nests, which are like these tent sacks all over the trees.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
I feel like invasion of the caterpillars.
Right. It's kind of gross, but
trees, picnic tables,
yeah.
fence posts, anywhere that they could make a safe haven of
I'm getting
a web.
heebie-jeebies, like reliving it, but it was cool to see. It was kind of cool to like research and learn about it afterwards. And it's nature at its finest.
If you're in that area during the late April, May timeframe, just be aware that that's going to be part of your travels and part of your journey, and you know, make a science project out of it and teach your kids. So lots of history in the valley there. Checked out the school after getting the Junior Ranger Badges program finished. We went and checked out the Petroglyphs, which is, they have a catwalk along the rock face that just has tons of images from the ancient Indians that used to be there, all chiseled in. Really kind of the best collection we've seen of petroglyphs on all the national parks that we've traveled so far. And so highly recommend, don't skip those, check them out. You won't see any other collection like that in any other place we've been to yet.
Share what I've learned and continue to explore.
As you know, at this point, we've been on the road for about 2 weeks, and we hadn't met any other full-time families. And so we're there, we're dry camping, and we see this other big fifth wheel toy hauler pull in with bikes strapped to the back of it. And on our walk, we met the Ross family. They are the most precious family. They pulled out lawn chairs, they got their fire pit out, and we just had like the best, most needed for my soul night. We laughed, the kids played, and then
So you know, it's like midnight.
Oh my goodness.
Almost 1
I
in the
think we
morning.
were up to like 1 a.m. and we sadly left the next day, so we parted ways.
So that was Capitol Reef. Thanks for coming along and enjoying our time there. We hope that you come back as we show you our next adventure in Bryce Canyon.
My most favorite national park.
I think it's all of our favorites. And we're going to do a couple different episodes in that one because we did a lot there.
You're now one step closer to being all caught up on the Ditching Default adventure.
If you want to catch more of that and learn more about Bryce, like and subscribe. Make some comments on this video. Tell us what we're doing wrong, what we're doing well, what would you like to see more of. You know, just let us know.
Make fun of us for being so worried about boondocking for 4 nights.
Yeah, 4 nights.
Amateur hour right here. We know it, but it was our first time. We're always cautious.